What's going on, everybody? It's your boy PTK Blam back in the building with another episode of the Shop Podcast. How is everybody doing this beautiful Saturday evening? We appreciate the love and support. Everybody coming out, always showing up, always showing out live. This week we have another packed show, packed full of topics, and once again we have another awesome special guest. Now, this special guest is from the real Down Under, and when I'm talking about Down Under, I mean that part of the map that you don't see essentially in the history book, not history books, but the actual map books. Like it's that far down. He's all the way from Australia, guys. We appreciate his love and support. First time here, new to podcast, so let's be easy on them, guys. Let's grease the wheels here. But go ahead and give yourself a shout out, Ashley. We appreciate you being here, man.
Crikey, mate. I can't believe this. No, just kidding, guys. I don't actually talk like that. That's not me. But thanks. Look, I appreciate the shout out. I appreciate you inviting me onto this podcast. It's only my third one I've ever done. And yeah, man, it's a great experience to be here and be a part of something so cool.
Let's get it, man. Appreciate it. We was talking pregame, and we're gonna be doing some big things, Ashtray. Appreciate you being on here, taking a little bit of time. Once again, guys, he does not have a YouTube channel, but I will definitely make sure his Twitter information is down in the description. So please go follow him on Twitter. Very knowledgeable, awesome dude. Once again, we're super glad to be here. So make sure you say hi as you guys come in the chat. Appreciate you. And then my right hand man, consistent as hell. Appreciate you, Fuzzy Belvedere, man. Go ahead and give yourself a shout out, man.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Fuzzy Belvedere here. Glad to be here with special guests and talking games, and been pretty much playing games most of this weekend. So, what a great way to unload.
Oh yeah, definitely. We always unload on the weekends, man, for sure. So I appreciate you once again, Fuzzy. Go ahead and shout out to my other two compatriots as well. Shout out to the boy Zalker87, man, doing big things on YouTube, as well as my boy Jarhead. Appreciate the love and support, man. Shout out to you and your family. But let's go ahead and dive in, man. We got a whole lot to talk about and unpack today. So the first thing we're talking about, this is kind of something that we were talking pregame, and it completely flew under the radar. We didn't really talk much about this at all, and I didn't even really see too many people talk about it once the news actually dropped. So obviously, Minecraft, one of the biggest games still on the planet. I don't give a damn what you say. It is completely undeniable. I know you don't play it anymore, but there's about 1 trillion kids between 9 and 12 that still do. So it's an amazing game, and it actually came up on its 10th anniversary. So Microsoft was essentially putting on some kind of like a special anniversary show, and guess who was not invited? The creator and founder of Minecraft, Notch. Now, the reason they're saying that they didn't want to invite him to the actual extravaganza was because of his personal views and other things he said since he actually sold Minecraft to Microsoft. So I don't know if you guys have known, but we were talking pregame, and Notch has gone full Alex Jones since he got that check from Microsoft. So I don't know what's going on with him, but there's both arguments for both sides. So I want to get your opinion, Ashtray, on what you think. What do you think of that? You think it's wrong? You think it's right? How do you feel about that decision that Microsoft made?
No, I think it's a right decision to make, really, because Microsoft, the Xbox brand, they can't associate themselves with someone that they can't control, for starters, and two, it will say those things that you see in the tweets if people Google search that. Now, to say if I'm surprised, no, I'm not surprised. If you look at the studio acquisitions of all of the studios that they've got up in that picture, this is Microsoft Studios, you'll see it doesn't say Mojang anywhere. It says Minecraft. Now that changed a little while ago as well, and I sort of picked up on that, thinking, but it's not Minecraft Studios, it's Mojang. So that just sort of shows me that was a step that they'd already started to take to distance themselves from Notch and his tweets and what he's like. Now, in my opinion, if you sell your business for 2.5 or 2.4 billion and you take home 1.5 billion out of that, you're probably going to lose your filter. Everyone's got a filter of some sort, man. And 2.5 billion, 1.5 billion, whatever it is, even 2 million, I'd probably lose my filter a little bit too. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a dangerous thing to have him associated. They want to bury it. They want to move on. I think it's a good idea, good thing to do. Just stay away, move on. Don't invite him.
And that's a great point. No, that's a great point. But I was a little conflicted because I was, I was on to Minecraft very early as well with the YouTube videos, and I saw it from its infancy to where it is now, and I really saw the work Notch put into it. I remember seeing a documentary a long time ago. I can't remember what it was called, but it was a Minecraft specific documentary, and the amount of passion that he put into that game, the long days, long nights, and just coming from such a simple idea and it becoming this what it is now, virtually like it's like the new generation Legos, essentially. Um, and
Yeah,
that's a lot of. So I feel conflicted because I seen the work he put into it, but once again, business is business, and at the end of the day, I feel like that's what it was, a business decision. Because, like you said, you can't have somebody showing up like fucking Joe Namath drunk on a sideline in front of the camera, like you can have somebody doing that. So I completely understand that point. It's kind of sad though in a way. It's a little heartbreaking because you feel like a person that had that big of an influence on that game that made a huge imprint on the world should be there. But like I said, I completely understand where you were coming from as well, Ashtray. So that completely makes sense. Now let's go ahead and throw this over to Fuzz, man. I know you kind of heard about it recently, but what'd you think, man? What do you think about that news? How do you feel like I felt? Were you kind of conflicted, or was it just business?
I lean on the side of caution when it comes to Microsoft. I think they wanted to keep their family friendly presence, and if someone's going to be tweeting just random stuff that may not reflect well on the brand, they have to make their decision. So I side with Microsoft and not inviting him for just that reason. I mean, if he was still an active member as far as for the productive team or the dev team and stuff like that, it might be a little bit different story. But I think at that point, if he was still that much of an active member, as opposed to just selling it and then enjoying life from
Yeah,
that
you know what?
cash out.
I don't know if you guys know, but he got that check. He went and bought him like the most expensive home. I think it's in Beverly Hills. I think it's the most expensive home in Beverly Hills. I think it's like $100 and something million home. So he went batshit. He went full Bruce Wayne after he got that check. So he went
Yeah.
crazy. But go ahead, Fuzz.
Well, I already said sorry to cut you
Yeah.
off, but I always said to the wife, if I came into a shitload of money, I'd be a lot like Charlie Sheen, man. I'd just go off the rails for a while.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy. Crazy, all kind of shit. But go ahead, Fuzz. I didn't want to cut you off.
No. I just at that point they're probably better to protect the brand, protect Minecraft as a family friendly brand, and enjoy the 10th anniversary without negativity at least. I'm pretty sure if there are plenty of Notch fans out there that are still playing Minecraft, I'm pretty sure they might feel a little bit differently, but I side with Microsoft on that one.
Okay. No, that then once again, that's a great point. That's a great point. It's just so difficult because, like I said, being a big fan of Minecraft, and I see once again where it came from, all the work he put in. It's kind of tough. And once again, shout out to Sean. So he said he got that "I can be a true asshole" kind of money, which is true. Everybody can't be rich. He was a very humble guy. From a a smaller country, doing big things, and got a lot of money, a lot of really fast. So sometimes money makes the monster come out of people. But I do agree you got to be safe in this particular instance. And it's been years since that brand has been even associated with Mojang and Notch. It's been so long that those two have been even in the same sentence that I don't really even think that it would be that big of a deal. I think most people didn't even notice it. That's why it's kind of flown under the radar as far as the news. I just brought it up once again because of my passion for Minecraft and my passion for Xbox as well. So great opening topic, everybody. Once again, chat, let us know in the chat how you guys feel about these topics. Once again, smack the like button on your way in. It does help the podcast and the channel be seen. We appreciate the love and support that you guys have been giving us every single week. So let's keep this thing going as well. Retweet the show on Twitter. The link is floating around there somewhere. All of our Twitter links are in the description below. Go ahead and follow us here on the show. But either way, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic. And the next topic is actually going to be the poll of the week. So if you don't know, every week on Mondays, I put out a poll, and we go ahead and we talk about it here on the show. And this week's poll was a really, really fun one here. So let me go ahead and just bring it up really quick. Sorry about that, guys. I should have been more prepared. But let me just go ahead and bring up the poll. Where's it at? Where is it at? Here. And let me grab it. Sorry, guys. But where is it at? Holy moly. Here it is. Okay, sweet. So this week's poll of the week was which game will most likely make an appearance at E3. So definitely we're talking about some E3 stuff. And 175 people voted on it. Appreciate the love and support there. Going to be another one up on Monday. So I had some great options. Fable, Splinter Cell, a new superhero game, none specific or other. And Fable was an overwhelming win. It won 56% of the vote. Splinter Cell came in second at 22%. Superhero game came in at 13%. The other came in at 9. So looks like most people are still of the mind, and think we're going to be getting or seeing at least something from Fable this E3. So I wanted to go ahead and throw this to you, Ashtray. What do you think of that poll? How would you vote on the poll, and kind of explain why would you vote a specific one?
Okay, well, I'm pretty confident we're not going to see a Fable.
Okay.
I'd like to. Don't get me wrong. I love the original Fable games. I'm Ashtray Gaming on Xbox Live, so you can see that I played the crap out of those games. But and as much as I'd love to see one, I just don't think it's going to happen. Not yet, anyway. Splinter Cell, yeah. Look, I could take it or leave it. A new superhero game. Look, I'd like to see more Batman games. Who wouldn't? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You know, although seeing the flying mechanic in Anthem, they really could do some really good stuff with a Superman game, or even an Iron Man game itself. So that things have progressed in technology that a flying game might actually be good for a change. I've never really come across one that I liked, except for Anthem. The mechanics are really good. So, yeah, anything specific when it comes to a superhero game, I couldn't probably say. I suppose Batman was that.
Well, there was that
Other,
rumor. There was that
mm,
Superman rumor. There was a rumor about the Avengers game. So there's all of those little rumors floating around. We've been hearing probably about for a year and a half now. I think it's Rocksteady came out and said that they're not doing a Superman game. They for sure said they're not doing that. But there's still rumors and rumblings about some kind of an Avengers game or something of the sort. So I don't know. I don't know. But go ahead and finish your thought.
yeah, no worries. For other, the gameplay didn't really show off too well. When it was uh, when it was released. But I'd like to see a game that with dragons in it and all that.
Okay.
What was that? What was that game called that got cancelled?
Oh,
Oh,
Scalebound.
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 Now
Okay.
I watched the gameplay videos on that quite a bit, and the gameplay was pretty rough. But the concept, the idea of it is pretty awesome, and I think that's probably why so many people were sort of dismayed that it didn't happen. Something like that. Now they still own that IP. There's still a good chance that that could get rehashed, and someone like, not saying Ninja Theory will work on it, but someone like Ninja Theory could do something really well with that game, in my opinion. So I'd like to see something like that, sort of in that fantasy realm kind of thing there.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's an interesting theory though, because it's Scalebound is kind of a touch and go because the community half says they want it, the other half says we don't need it. So it's weird with Xbox fans because when I saw the game, I was really excited because that's a type of game that Xbox needs in its portfolio that it does not have. So I was just really excited about the possibility. Now I'm of the mind that maybe they're doing something with some Japanese studio. Maybe they can hand that off to them. Essentially, they do still own the IP, I believe, same way that they own the whole Fable IP and everything like that. Some of the other games that they haven't rehashed yet, but a really interesting concept. Really interesting concept. I'm not sure about Scalebound. Dope idea. Not sure who would do it and how they would execute it, but I think maybe later on down the line there's something they could definitely talk about doing. So I'm not too out on that, but I think that would be really really cool though. So Fuzz, what do you think, man? Out of those options, and I don't remember what you voted specifically, but go ahead and elaborate on that for us, buddy.
Well, I voted for a superhero game primarily because I think the Rocksteady game is going to make an appearance, and I remember they you know denied that it was a Superman game, but I forget what someone had looked up. It was some sort of like Batman versus Superman type of thing. So we might see Superman in a Batman game, but I think that stands a pretty good chance. I hate to be a naysayer on Fable. I don't think it's going to be shown this E3. Um, I think that's going to be like when the next gen consoles are out. That E3, when you're able to play on your Xbox Two or an Xbox or whatever they call it,
Mhm.
that E3 will be able to see, whether it be a CGI or some gameplay trailer. We'll see something of Fable then. I don't. As much as I would like to see it this year, I think it's possibly too soon.
Okay.
Um, But as
I would
far as
agree
like
with that.
the superhero game, shout out to Zocker. I remember he had talked to us about his idea on like a Thor game. I
Yeah, that was
think
pretty cool too.
that somebody needs to contact that man and see if they can't get that game made. But
Yeah,
yeah, a Thor game would be perfect, or hey, a Black Panther game, or just
yeah,
any recent superhero that's has a movie out there. I mean, sure, there's already Spider-Man out there and everything, but that's different ecosystems. So
yeah,
we'll leave that one alone.
yeah,
But I think it's going to be more so a superhero game. But my heart wants a Splinter Cell game because we haven't had one this entire gen.
yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think the guy that runs Ubisoft was saying that we probably won't see one this gen. I don't think the hardware we have, at least currently, except for maybe the X,
Hmm.
can handle what I guess they're looking to do. I don't know how far or how intense they plan on making this next iteration of Splinter Cell, but that's the one I wish would show. But I think that's also going to be a next gen title as well.
Yeah. You know what? Splinter Cell would be so cool. Splinter Cell would be so dope. I think that there was a recent report that they were in discussion about it and it got canned. I'm not 100% sure. I did do a singular video about that. I vaguely remember doing a
Mhm.
video about it like maybe 3, 4 months ago, but I definitely got to go check the archive. So I'm not sure, but Splinter Cell would be cool. Now, one thing you brought up, Ashtray, that I did not consider
Mhm.
Anthem has shown us something completely different. It's made a game like a Superman game or a Iron Man game seem possible. Because remember, we were having that discussion, Fuzz, months ago about how would that work because you have to make the world so large because they fly incredibly fast, you're traveling in a fast rate.
Mhm.
Anthem makes that seem like it's an actual possibility at this point. I never considered the connection there, so that was a great comparison or analogy you use, Astray, and I wanted you to kind of elaborate on that as far as like how do you think that that's opened up the idea of like a Iron Man game or a Superman
Oh, tenfold for sure. I think there's probably someone out there right now working on something. But
game?
it's you're right. It's the size of the world, but not necessarily the distance. It's got to be the height. You've got to be
Yeah,
able to travel quite high. Not
yeah,
necessarily, for the whole game, but you just need that feeling that you're really there. So you need that distance. Um, it's gonna boil down to the mechanics. If the mechanics are terrible, if they're janky, if they're rough, it's just gonna fail. They need to make sure they're smooth. The way the button layout is, I found anyway, for Anthem is just perfect. It just
yeah,
works. It works really well. It's seamless. You don't have to think about it. You just do it. Um, Obviously, the only thing that annoys me is the jetpacks run out too quickly, but I kind of knew that was going to happen anyway. Um, Having an Iron Man where your jetpack doesn't run out, you would need an even larger area, which
yeah,
I think they can do now anyway. And if you're going to have the character flying quite fast, and not really sort of stopping, then the graphics probably don't need to be 4K. They could probably be
1080.
1080.
Yeah,
You got to have 60 for flying for sure.
yeah, absolutely.
But they don't have to be the best quality graphics because you'll be moving in and out. You'll be flying around buildings and stuff like that. So, um, yeah.
Well, they were able to achieve that to some level with Spider-Man because Spider-Man, you're traveling incredibly fast. It's still a great looking game as well, and
Right.
it would be on a smaller scale. Spider-Man's on a smaller scale, obviously. Flying is
Yep.
not the same as swinging around the city, but it's still the same general concept. You know what I'm saying?
Correct. Yep. For
So yeah,
sure.
it was something definitely be like a hybrid there. But I think that's a really cool fucking concept, though. To be honest with you, and I never did really get the connection though. That Anthem has opened up, for all its other shortcomings, which we could do a whole other fucking podcast about. But it's definitely opened up a lot of possibilities for a lot of other games that I never considered. So once again, chat, we are live, and all these questions are for you guys as well. So let us know down in the chat if you're filing in. Say hi as you stop in. Hit that like button. Appreciate you guys, man. Let's go ahead and get to 2K subs too. So if you're new, go ahead and subscribe to the channel as well and share that with your friends. So let's go ahead and move on to the next topic, man. We're moving a little bit quickly here today. And this topic is actually something that we're probably going to be diving in and elaborating on even more than the previous two. So we're going to be talking Epic Games here. So Epic Games is going full on Wolf of Wall Street mode, okay? With this whole
Mm.
Steam thing and this whole Epic store. They are not playing around. So recently, they just purchased Rocket League developer, I believe it's Psionics. I think that's the name of them, Psionics, something like that. And they just purchased Psionic Games. So they're not playing around. They're being extremely aggressive with these deals, as far as with these developers having these exclusive deals and them giving these better, payout percentages and things like that. Steam is sitting on their hands. I don't know what Steam is doing, but Epic is not playing around. They got this Fortnite money, and they're not afraid to cut these checks. And they've been cashing out a lot. They've been changing the game, and they better catch up, because Steam is going to get ran over. I'm telling you, man, the change is going to have to come eventually. You can only be that way for so long until you have real direct competition. And I think Epic is really going to be that direct competition to Steam. So I want to see how you feel about that situation. First, about the acquisition with Sonic Games and Rocket League, what it does for Epic Games, and about just the move in general, since they've essentially been really aggressive. So, what do you think about that, Ashtray?
Yeah, that's the exact word, aggressive. I think they're seeing the moves that the likes of Microsoft are doing, now Google. They're setting themselves up. You're right in saying that they're using that Fortnite money, and why wouldn't you?
Yeah,
If you want to
very
stay, if you want to stay relevant, if you want to, buy some IPs up, if you want to have control, because Xbox is coming into the PC market more and more. We all know that. Google just said, "Hey, we're going to join in too." They're like, "We need to make some moves, and we need to do it now." Knowing that Rocket League is so popular, and has been for quite some time, it's a perfect
you can,
acquisition or
and think about
buyout.
the Rocket League Fortnite crossovers they're going to do.
That would be awesome. Imagine
I'm
that,
trying to tell you,
and they could put the cars in Fortnite too.
they
Yeah.
could. They can do
Hey,
all kind of cool shit now. Give you Fortnite skins in Rocket League. Like, I don't know what it would be, but just all kind of crazy shit. It's gonna open up the doors for both games.
yeah, definitely, definitely. Now, can they? Will they stop it from being on Steam? Obviously, they can do whatever they want, but they'd have a lot of angry customers that would use both platforms. So, I don't think that they're, maybe if they stop selling it, sure, but they can't stop looking, giving it updates and keeping the product going.
I think it'll stay
That
on
would be a
everything.
bad move.
I think it'll stay on everything. I just don't think that everybody pushed for that crossplay so hard. Xbox, Sony, I mean Nintendo, they pushed for that crossplay thing so hard. And Rocket League was one of the first games outside of Minecraft that actually went full crossplay on everything.
Hmm.
So I think that, it's just, that's money going directly in their pocket at this point. Everybody's sending Epic a check for anything Rocket League now. So I just don't think. I don't think they'll change that deal. But for the future, maybe they'll have Epic Store exclusive stuff that you can't get unless you purchase the game in the Epic Store, like a certain customization or a certain skin. I can see something like that, but definitely not the entire game. I think they're going to keep that as is. I can't see them cutting off their nose despite their face. So who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah, that's true. Same as Xbox and Minecraft. They still have
Yeah,
that selling on other platforms. So yeah,
yeah,
may as well. If you can,
yeah,
it's a sale's a sale. It's all
yeah.
money, isn't it?
Yep, it's all in the same pocket. But Fuzz, I want to give you a breakdown too, man, because I know you got. We've been kind of talking about this as well. We've been talking a lot about Epic, actually, very, very much lately, probably the last month or so. So, what do you think, man? What do you think about this move?
I think it's pretty much like some more of the beginning, I guess you could say, with them just leaving a bigger footprint in this industry. I think it's going to continue, and they're going to find a couple other like possibly smaller devs where the games are able to play on multiple platforms with cross play and things like that. I mean, you got Fortnite that does cross play, Rocket League that does cross play. One of the other ones that does it, I don't think they can offer Microsoft enough money to buy Minecraft.
Oh
So
no,
they're
absolutely not.
they're going to continue, finding games like that. I wouldn't be surprised if they look at Roblox. I don't know who owns Roblox, but that might be an alternative. But I could see them doing that with a lot of cross-play based games until they have like their own nice suite of games. It's kind of like EA with a lot of the annual sports games.
Hmm.
I don't think they want an annual updated type of game, but I think they want something that you can play on the phone, that you can play on your console, that you can play on your PC, and they can all play together, because that way at least they can hook you in for having either multiple copies or carrying over your additional content and things
Mhm.
like that, and you're more willing to spend more money on those games at that point if stuff carries over. So it's just the beginning. I would be interested to see how many other studios they may acquire by E3 time. But it's nice that it's kind of, well, I wouldn't say it's nice, but it's funny how it's under the radar. But now that they have everyone's attention, including Steam's, it would be interesting to see how many other acquisitions they make without it, being leaked prior
Mhm.
to it being finalized. But yeah, I think it's cool, but the sleeping giant's going to have to wake up at some point. Otherwise, they're going to be the next blockbuster, or what was it, Walden Books or Borders Books or whatever. So,
Yeah, borders.
Yeah. Yeah. No, true. No, good point. You brought up a great point as well about just the fact that Steam's going to have to get with it to get ran over. And this is crazy because this is actually, if you think about the move, it was a win-win move. It's an already established franchise. I don't know what the player base is like now. I know at one point Rocket League was the shit. It was like for about 3 months, it was like everybody was going crazy for Rocket League. But I think it still has a very strong base. I think it's still enough people play it. I don't necessarily know if it's more about Rocket League or it's more about the studio behind Rocket League because once you get the studio, now you can have them produce other things, new ideas for you at this particular point. And
yeah,
what else is going to establish Epic from Steam than their own exclusive games? Steam has them. The Team Fortresses, things like that. Although they're not nearly as popular, and Steam hasn't done shit with anything they decided to do. But um, I just think that essentially, it's a great move either way. I don't think it's a win-win. I don't think it's a lose-lose for anybody. I think it's a great move, and I just think that this is going to light a fire. It has to under Steam's ass. It has to at this point because you can't continue to let Epic just go about his business and snatch up all these studios. They're already kicking your ass as far as the deal they're offering to new developers. They already got all these multiplats that they've already got exclusive deals with, and it's going to continue to happen. They're not running out of money anytime soon.
yeah,
That's not
Yeah,
going to happen.
totally agree. If Steam sit on their hands, then yeah, they will be the next blockbuster for sure.
Yeah,
Definitely.
you
Yep.
that
Even though
archaic
they've got
ass
they got
business
tons of
model.
money, they got
Yeah,
tons of money right now, but that doesn't last forever.
it doesn't. That no summer sale is gonna help you, Steam. I'm sorry, Gabe. I'm trying to tell you right now. You better get with it to get ran over. And it's funny because at this point, the IPs that we've been wanting from Steam, we don't even necessarily need them at this point. We got World War Z. What do we need Left 4 Dead for? You know what I'm saying? Like it's becoming to the point. Even Team Fortress. These games are like cult classics. If they all they can literally take a fucking sticky note, take a picture of it, and write Half Life 3 on it, put it on Twitter. Internet would stop for 2 days. Easy. And
yeah.
not a picture, not a GIF, not anything. You don't even have to be moving. A sticky note written Half Life 3 and some crayon, and it'd be perfectly fine. So
Oh,
it just I don't know why that they're I don't know. I just I
did you
don't
see
understand.
the that fake trailer of Left 4 Dead?
Oh
Full.
yeah. I heard about. I didn't watch it, but I heard about that. I heard that they just.
I was hoping that was a real thing because maybe that would have been the beginning of the awakening of the giant. But I don't know. They better do something. I mean, they don't have to technically, but I would like for them just so that way, competition, benefits the gamers or benefits the customer base. So if they start stepping it up, releasing some of their, dormant IPs, it'll just be, great for everyone out there. So they got to do something here soon,
I
hopefully.
Yeah.
totally agree with that. Yep.
Okay. Cool. Anybody else want to elaborate on anything further about the whole deal? Oh, one thing I didn't ask about, one thing I didn't bring up too that I wanted to discuss about this whole Epic thing was that essentially, what does this mean for Epic going forward? So what are their goals at this point? Are they not just trying to be Steam anymore? Are they because at this point, I mean, Epic is going to get to the point to where they're going to be able to do their own show at E3.
Yeah.
Well,
So I mean, what's the goal? Is that the goal here for Epic?
so they're going to be in the same field or battle, yeah, as Xbox, Google, PlayStation, Nintendo, Epic. It's going to be like that, and they're going to be the big players. Um, if Steam do decide to buy some IPs, then they'll join that. But otherwise, we're only going to see those big ones. And look, if Nintendo, I have a gut feeling that Nintendo is going to do a lot more business with Xbox.
Hmm.
PlayStation will probably have to jump on maybe Google and do some work with them. Otherwise, those guys, because the whole thing is going to streaming, it's all going to multi devices, and they have to keep up. And Nintendo and Sony are the ones that are lagging behind the most. So, um, what relates to that is Epic are making the moves now to be a part of that ecosystem, to be a part of that big, you know, team, be one of the big players.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. So would you agree with that, Fuzz?
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I said, them taking over that dev, it's just a beginning. I expect to see more things similar to that, and probably expect to see something at E3 as far as either another announcement of a dev that they have acquired, or I don't. I think it's a little too early for them to talk about their own streaming service, but I think there's probably like a 5 year and 10 year plan in some sort of conference room, talking about how they're going to be, a top tier publisher, top tier dev with an engine that they can, collect revenue from, as well as any other companies that they work with for future projects. And then they'll probably work on having like their own, in-house streaming service as well, where not only do they have other games that you can purchase and stream through their service, but they'll have their own exclusives when they start acquiring more devs. So
Hmm.
it's
Mhm.
there's somewhere on the wall somewhere saying that that's their 5 year, 10 year plan, but
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, shout out to Mr. Kima too. Matter of fact, let me do some quick shout outs here. We got a bunch of people in here. Mr. Kima, 1.5 volt. My boy Salty in the house hanging out. Appreciate Salty. Good friend of mine. Go check him out too on YouTube, man. He's a great guy. That's a great podcast as well. Mojo, shout out JP Underground. Shout out, who else is in here? Shonsu, the best mod ever. My boy Zinc probably lurking too. Appreciate you, buddy. Born Distracted. Everybody else who's flooding in here as well. Appreciate the support, man. Hope you guys are enjoying the show, man. Ashtray, Saul just gave you a compliment. Said you know your stuff, man. So you doing good, man.
Yeah, I don't know if he's being serious or not, though.
Oh no, I know he's being serious. Salty don't Salty
Yeah.
don't play around with that. Salty very very genuine dude. So if you know your shit, Salty will let you know your shit for sure. But appreciate Salty Sheen. So appreciate you, Infurious One. Appreciate you guys stopping in, man. It's amazing. Thank you guys for the support. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to one last topic we have here, guys. And this is a good one. And this is something that I'm passionate about. I picked this to be like my favorite game all year. I even picked it slightly ahead of Gears at the beginning of the year before the game actually came out, and it has done nothing but kick me in my ass ever since I purchased this game. So we're talking Anthem, everybody. So I know Anthem's been kind of beat down to the ground, but fairly recently the developer did come out, or publisher came out, and basically said, "Look, we still support the game. We still on track. We're basically saying, hey, we're still here. We're still supporting the game. You're still going to get more shit. We understand your frustration, but we're still supporting the game essentially." Now, I want to know how you guys feel. Based on everything that's happened with that game, what that game was supposed to be, actually, what it is now to what it's supposed to be versus, some of the other things we've seen. We've been all beat up by this game. We've all had very high expectations, and it really hasn't lived up to it. And it seems to be a bunch of basic problems. You got to fix the loot system. That's the biggest issue. You fix that, everything else can be kind of, fixed along the way. The loot, you can't have a looter shooter with a broken loot system. It's impossible. It doesn't work. So basically, he came out and said, "You know what? We're still working on this game. We're gonna still support it." So, Ashtray, is he full of shit, or are you gonna wait around for it to be fixed, or can they even do that at this point? Like, do they
Yeah.
even have time to do that? Can we even forgive them and give them time to fix this game?
Yeah, look, it's longevity with this type of game anyway, man. So, look, I pre-ordered the game. I played the beta. I enjoyed it. I wanted more. Pre-ordered it, bought it. I actually decided to get physical copy because I thought to myself, you know what, this game. I had this feeling that this game was going to be so sort of big and epic
Me too.
that I want the physical copy of it, so that one day, you know, because let's be honest, one day there's not going to be that many of current and going forward gen consoles that are going to have physical games. It's just slowly cutting back. So I thought this is a game that I want, so that when I'm an old man, I've got this disc in front of me in my hand. Because I'll still have my Xbox One X
Yeah.
Even though it'll go forwards and backwards compatible, I still have my Xbox One X,
Mhm.
so I'll put that game in, or whatever. But my idea is that this game is going to be cool. Played it and then got sick of it real quick, real bored,
Yeah.
because there's not a lot happening. Like you said, the loot system's broken. I know some of my friends were playing it. They've all stopped.
Yeah.
Not all. Sorry, that's
Yeah.
too harsh. Most of them have stopped playing,
Yeah.
and I actually haven't played it for about 2-3 months now. I actually put out a tweet a little while ago, thinking, well, hey guys, should I trade it in and get a new game or what? And they said, no, keep it. The results will keep the game. It'll get better. And look, I kind of know it will, but then if I trade it in and get something now, I can always buy it for like $10 later on. So you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't really matter. But I was pumped for it. I really, really was, and it's kind of fallen flat now. To say that now there's some of the team working on Dragon Age 4, I'm not upset by it. They, as a company, as a business, they need to continue on doing other things, because sticking to one game, unless it's Minecraft,
Or
isn't going to make
GTA.
them money. It's they need to keep going. So a Dragon Age game, they're popular. A lot of people like them. You have to continue making those kind of games as well.
Yeah.
You can't just stick to one. So I think I think that they've probably either split their team, or the majority is still on Anthem, and they're sort of starting pre-production on Dragon Age 4.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not upset by it. I think they need to. They'll probably grow if they can fix those damn loading screens and get rid of them.
Yeah.
The people will flock back. People did it with No Man's Sky.
They did it with Destiny year 1 too. The first Destiny was abandoned within the first 2 months, and then everybody came back.
Exactly. People have done it with Sea of Thieves. Now, I've pretty much always stuck with Sea of Thieves, but a lot of people played it for a little bit.
The Division, the first Division as well.
Yeah,
exactly. So people do come back. They just need to knuckle down, be quiet, don't put anything out there, get the game fixed, fix the main issues, and add some content, and then come out with an update, and you'll see people come back. As long as it's not broken, it'll get a second lease on life.
Yeah, and I agree. And you know what the funny thing about Anthem is that, as broken as Anthem is, it offers so many unique experiences that a lot of other games don't.
Mm-hmm.
We were just talking about the whole flying system, how unique that is. There's no other game that offers that kind of mechanic, the flying mechanic, and it works perfectly.
Yes,
that's the one highlight.
Sure.
That's the one thing about Anthem that you can say that no other game shares, is the movement system. There's no other game where the flying is that responsive, that tight, and it gives you this sense of skill, being able to fly around like that now. And it offers some very unique experiences as well. And the world is actually very open, very lush, very busy. It's just not enough shit to do in it. So there's some core things that they definitely need to work on. I was high on Anthem. Fuzz, what was I saying? For months, I was like, this is it. Everything else better move the fuck out the way, because Anthem is coming. From what I was watching streams that they were doing, I was trying to get to, I generally avoid rumors. I was digging for rumors about Anthem just to get anything I could find about the game. But just to say the least, I was completely disappointed. I still play it just in hopes that one day I'll turn it on and that loot system is fixed. And I'll be able to get a fucking legendary that I haven't seen in a week and a half. But it's just it's so many just small core problems that plague the game, and you hate to see it. And I just said this down in the chat. BioWare and Bethesda have completely disappointed me this generation, because those two names are synonymous with quality. When you hear Bethesda and BioWare, that's what you're getting. And I've been completely not underrated, but I'm completely not happy with the way they've been going and just their offerings lately. Bethesda, they have some highlights. You got your Dooms and things like that. Other things they published that have been good. But their own games, I'm actually extremely scared for Elder Scrolls. I'm extremely worried about Elder Scrolls, because I don't know what Bethesda we're going to get, as well as with BioWare, with Dragon Age. So we'll see. We'll definitely see. But Fuzz, man, what do you think about the developer coming out and saying, hey, we're still here? He almost pulled a No Man's Sky. It just wasn't a long period of time. I mean, they didn't go AWOL. They just
Yeah.
really weren't saying much. But compared to what they promised us prior to, they promised us a roadmap. They promised us content. They promised us all these different things. So, what is your opinion on them basically saying we're still here, we're going to still support the game?
Uh, I think it's a little too late for them to stop the bleeding. I'm pretty sure people are going or moved on to playing other games. Like me in particular, I'm almost no lifing Division 2 at this point. I figured I'd be doing split time between the two,
I remember you said that you were
uh,
100% sure you was going to be splitting up time.
but I can't understand. Like I mean, it happens in the Division 2 where you'll see a mob or a wave of enemies, and there'll be like a better drop than what you might get at the end of the mission or at the boss. But I mean, unless you're doing like story mode where it's like, okay, you can just one shot most of the enemies,
Yeah.
you're not going to see like a gear set piece drop from a wave and then only get like a blue or green at the end. No, you're in most cases you're getting at least a gold that's going to be your world tier level, and
Hmm.
then you may get a green if you're lucky enough during that match, or the actual end mission will include a green and a few golds. And but with Anthem, it's like, oh, we just did a combo and Masterworks drop. And that's great. And then you go and do the boss in the stronghold, and it's still dropping purples. It's like, why?
And blue.
I haven't had a purple on my javelin in like forever. It's
Yeah.
nothing but Masterworks with a couple legendaries. That should automatically make it so the game doesn't drop purple anything, except for maybe an ember or some sort of crafting
Yeah.
material or something. But
And you don't even have very much use for those.
yeah.
I have a million embers of every single color, and I don't use them for anything.
But I hope they're serious with their commitment. But a lot of people question Ubisoft when they said that about the Division 1, and then they flew a group of people out. Yeah, sure, some of them were YouTubers, but some of them were the people that pretty much had tons of hours and had a passport and were willing to go. So and they listened to them. They had like little sit down sessions with the devs and hashed out some ideas. And I honestly wish BioWare, when they were making Anthem, they didn't make was it Destiny a bad word, where it's like, oh yeah, this is more like Diablo 3, and somebody say Destiny and they get escorted out of the building with security and stuff. So it's like, I think that was just totally the wrong move on their part. So they I hope they're honest with that commitment, but I my guts tell me it's, yeah, you got Dragon Age right around the corner, and we're also hearing similar issues with Dragon Age. Although once again, that's rumor and it's Kotaku, but Schreier, what's his name, Jason
Jason Schreier.
Schreier.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
been pretty good as far as his undercover work and stuff. I mean, some of his opinion stuff might differ from most, but yeah, I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it, and right now I'm not believing it. I just
Yeah. It's tough. It's just for me in particular because I was so looking forward to this game and it has so much potential. And you know it when you see it. I've been playing video games for 20 plus years, and you know it when you see it. And it just sucks that this game is a victim of a lot of different circumstances. I mean, people were talking about the way management handled,
Mhm.
it's handled at BioWare with EA kind of being a big brother and not really, guiding, BioWare. They just kind of told them do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. They kind of walked in and just started cutting people's arms and shit off and said, "Now
Yeah.
we're getting rid of that, getting rid of that." So it seems like it was a bad relationship as well. There wasn't a whole lot of like mutuality there. It was all just, "I'm the boss, you're not the boss, so shut up and do what you need to do." It could be BioWare. Maybe they've lost their touch. I'm not going to put it all on EA either because BioWare creatively still had to make the game. The
Yeah.
game was still their baby, still their idea. So you still got to put it together and execute. So it's just tough when you see a game with so much potential fall flat on his face when I thought this game was going to be the reason people like went away from Destiny to the next one came. I thought this game would put everything on hold for about 6 months as far as like what people were going to be playing and be literally at the top of the like stream boards and people, thousands and thousands of people are streaming it. Man, Uno has more fucking live viewers right now than Anthem on Twitch or Mixer. I promise you, Uno right now, go check it. Go check it out. Uno probably has about 10 to 15 people. Anthem got about 2. So it's pretty bad right now. But I am hopeful though. As much as I'm talking shit, I'm being funny for the most part. But I am very, very hopeful for the game. I do think that they can rescue it. It can come back. You gotta have content, but you gotta fix the core issues. If you don't fix that loot system, it's DOA. Just start over because it's not. It's you're not gonna have people. Okay, now this is the thing. I want you to see. Want to see if you guys in chat let me know as well. I'm okay with grinding for shit and playing the same mission over 10 times if I feel like I'm eventually going to be rewarded for it. It's called gambling syndrome. These looter shooters, they're like legal gambling for us. We sit up here and we play these games. How many times have you sat there trying to grind for a specific weapon, a specific loadout, days on end without
Oh
any
yeah.
results? And all you did was lose time over and over again until you just for the thought that maybe if I open this or kill this boss this one time, he gonna drop what I fucking need. That's what we did. That's what we get from looter shooters. So would you guys agree with me on that? If they gave us enough content, would you guys go back to the game? Do you think it could revive itself?
I would. The biggest thing for me is I want them to look at their competitors and how their loot works as far as drops. And people have complained about division drops, people have complained about Destiny drops, but at least there's some consistency to it as far as it's going to be a better piece. It's not going to be, a whole tier or level below what you're actually fighting in. So if you're in GM2 or GM3, it better be some masterworks and some legendary stuff dropping. Now it may not be the best stuff, but at least be better than what you may have on, or at least comparable, or maybe have a few different talents. But if they add some more strongholds, that'd be great. So that way you can do, instead of doing the same 3 or 4, now you could at least have more to do. But
Mhm.
those drops just need to be more in line, like what the
Yeah,
division's doing and what Destiny's doing. And I'm pretty sure people will come back, because I remember speed running the division just so I can get a particular gear set piece, or just so I can
yeah.
get a named weapon at a particular place, or a named mask, or a gear piece. So
But
yeah.
once again, you were okay with that because the possibility that you were actually going to be able to get these things. It almost feels like an anthem. You're like literally fucking. It's insanity. You're doing the same thing, knowing you're not gonna get what you're looking for. Like people are going weeks without seeing a legendary. That's a
Yeah.
problem. When you're
Yeah.
doing these missions on GM2, GM3, and there's no rhyme or reason to the loot system. There's literally no RNG. There's no equation. There's no anything. Matter of fact, I saw a video on YouTube where a guy literally for about 12 minutes tried everything he could possibly do. He put on everything. He had a ton of luck on his gear, all these different variations, and it didn't change at all. The loot drops. GM1, GM2, GM3 solo with the team, it didn't change anything. There's no rhyme or reason. That's a fundamental problem, especially when
Yeah.
you have a looter shooter. So before we close out this topic, I wanted to finish your opinion on that ashtray. Or do you have anything else to elaborate on about that?
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if I read it somewhere or heard it in another podcast, but I heard that BioWare didn't even make this game originally to be a looter shooter. My understanding was that it was actually just made to be like, your run of the mill open world game, and they were told that they had to change it, hence the loading screens.
Really?
Game. That's I don't know if it's correct or not. Would have to probably research it further, but I heard or read it somewhere. So that's probably where the problem. Now, in saying all that, I'm not a gambler. I can't gamble. I find it boring, right?
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
doing the same missions over and over again, getting the same results, not getting better results, bores the shit out of me. I can't do it. I cannot do it. People might say, "Oh, but you play, Sea of Thieves." Yeah, but every time you jump into Sea of Thieves, you get a different adventure every time. It can be whatever you want it to be. With that, you're going to the same stronghold. You're fighting the same enemies. You're getting the same outcome, and you're not getting the drops that you want. That's a no for me. That's why I tapped out so early on it. Now, if they can fix all that and put a bit of variety in there, then I'll definitely go back to it. But until that happens, it's not gonna. I'm not gonna go back to it, to be honest.
Yeah, and the one thing I think that Anthem has going for it is that gamers, as much as we sit on Twitter and talk shit in these Twitter streets, and we jump in these DMs with these developers and make threats and all kind of erroneous things. We don't do that, but other people do. Um,
Mhm.
As much as shit we give these developers, gamers are willing to give these games second chances. We've done it with a ton of different games. I mean, how many games were in worse shape than Anthem? I mean, No Man's Sky was DOA,
Yeah.
completely DOA. Rainbow Six Siege when it first came out, DOA, and now it's one of the most streamed, most played, biggest esports games this entire generation. So there's definitely life after death for a lot of these games. You just have to be committed. The only problem is I don't know if BioWare is committed. I don't know if they're committed. I don't know if EA is committed. EA got Star Wars coming up. They drop everything for Star Wars.
I don't think they could not fix it. I don't think they have the option. I think they
Well,
have to fix it, man.
that's true. No, I think they will to some capacity. My thing is that the time frame. We've already been hoodwinked and bamboozled. How long can you lead us astray before
Yeah,
we?
true,
That's what.
but
And then another thing is you have other games coming out that are going to preoccupy your time. Rage 2, all these other games that are coming out that take away from Anthem. Like nobody's going to want to go back when you have other things to do.
true, but I think Fallout 76 has bigger problems than Anthem, man.
Oh, okay, that's another one. But I was just talking about Bethesda, wasn't I? I just talked about them. So
Yeah,
they've been a huge disappointment as well. But yeah, Bethesda's a different situation though. Bethesda because these are like Anthem's a brand new IP. Fallout's
true.
a storied franchise with a storied history, and they just threw that one in the wall. I don't know what they were doing with that one. It just I have no idea what Todd Howard was thinking. Maybe too much hairspray. I'm not sure what's going on over there with Todd. Todd's my guy. I love Todd Howard, but the how might have the mighty have fallen for sure. But yeah, it's a different situation, and I think that Anthem can survive though. I think they will. I think that it's just content. You got to have content, fix that loop system. That's really all it is. And other than that, it doesn't really have any other problems. Even like graphically, like the way the game runs, it's not. It doesn't really stutter. I don't really get too many frame rate issues every now and then when there's a lot going on, but it runs perfectly fine. That's usually the problem with most of these games. It runs like crap. This one runs great, but this is nothing to do. So it's kind of a catch-22 there, but we're gonna go ahead and wrap it. You know what? Actually, we're not gonna wrap it up. We're gonna go ahead and take a question or two from the chat. We got a little bit of time here to go ahead and take a question or two. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us, man. We got 21 people here live. Appreciate the love and support. But go ahead and throw your questions right now then in the chat. We're gonna go ahead and take probably two. So if you've been thinking about anything while we're watching, go ahead and drop it in the chat right now. Let us know. I'm going to do a couple more shout outs. Salty, I see you again. Z Black Rider, man, wow. Appreciate you showing up as well. Okay, so Shonsu got something. He said, anyone on the panel think Amazon will be at this E3 in some gaming capacity? Anybody want to take a shot at that?
Good question, but I would say no, not yet.
Okay.
Maybe next year, but I haven't heard of them having any content to show. So,
well, there is a demo. There was a video floating around YouTube of a video of because they have the what studio did they go by for us? The one that were doing was it Iron Galaxy?
Well, I know they had
that. They were doing Killer Instinct.
I can't remember. They had that car game, the TV show. What the heck was it that they did earlier in the year? And that I don't think that did too well. But they got two games that are in the works, using Lumberyard as their engine. Let me see. Here we go.
But that's my point. There's really no content there. Anyway, sorry.
Oh no, they have the Crucible. I think is far from completion, and then there's another one called New World. I think that one they had an active demo of where it's kind of like think of Zelda, right? But with a little bit better graphics, but not quite real life graphics.
Double Helix, Junkie said. That's who it was. Double Helix. That's what they call it.
But the Grand Tour, that was going to be their test as far as a multi-plat, and then they have the Crucible and New World, and I've been trying to keep an eye on them. I know I tweeted something almost like a year or so ago. I was like, yeah, they got some stuff working. I already know some people that have been talked with Amazon, and they've been not really acquired, but contracted to do some stuff. So yeah, I don't think it's this E3. I think it'll be next E3. I think one of the biggest thing is they want to see how well or how badly Google's received, and they're going to make a better approach. They're usually the ones that's not going to be the first at doing something. They're going to come in and be the industry disruptor. And I think Apple might make an appearance because they have that
That
what is it, the
that's
arcade or
yeah.
something?
Is it like a service that they have, like a
Yeah.
Apple
Yeah.
service?
So basically, your phone games and what would normally be computer or console games, we're pretty much going to be able to get through anything that's iOS compatible or would be able to have like an Apple app on it type of deal. So
Yeah,
that will make an appearance. Amazon, I think, might be a next year thing.
yeah.
They'll play the wait and see game.
Yeah, I don't think, and like Ashtray said, I know we didn't get to you at Ashtray. You were saying that you just content. That's the biggest thing. That I don't know if they're ready to go to a show like that yet. You got to go prepared. You can't go and show up with the fucking lemonade stand at E3, showing games out. It's not gonna work. And I know Amazon, biggest company in the world, most profitable company in the world at this point. They're gonna want to do it and do it the right way. I'm almost 100% sure. So I don't think we're gonna see Amazon this year. Maybe next year, once we start seeing, hearing more things about their ideas, and maybe the whole cloud gaming thing actually takes off. So we'll see. But one more question here we're gonna take, and where was it at? Oh, Salty.
Salty,
Shout
yeah.
out to Salty. Yeah. You said, what do you guys want to see on the Xbox E3 stage as a surprise? I think we've talked about this about 20 times in different times on the show, but I always love this question because I always love the pie in the sky. So we're going to start with you, Ashtray, to close the show. What do you think as a surprise would you like to see on Xbox stage?
Mine's actually not like a huge thing that everyone would stand up and applaud for, but another Crimson Sky would be awesome, man.
Oh, you took it back. Okay.
Yeah.
Crimson Skies. Okay. That was okay. Why Crimson Skies?
I really enjoyed that game. Their flying mechanic and that was really good too. The story was okay. It was just one of those all-round fun games. It wasn't a flight simulator that you get with some of these other games, but it was just more of that sort of cruise around, shoot the planes out the sky and go on to
Uh-oh.
Did he
we
lose
lose
his
him?
mic?
Uh-oh. Did we lose him? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Is you there, Ashtray? Uh-oh. we may have lost his mic. I'm not 100% sure. He'll probably pop back in here in a second. Is he still hearing the? Oh, his mic just cut out. So yeah, we may have lost his mic.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and continue on with that though. But you want to go ahead and answer that too, Fuzz? Once we get him back in here. Go ahead.
Yeah, the thing I would really like to see, and some of this stems from the rumors that we've been hearing as of recent with the Crytek deal. Although I have some hope, but I don't think it's as much of a reality. But I'll be pleasantly surprised. I would love to see a Rise 2.
Oh yes, a proper
Is
Rise 2 with a proper story.
and they can take some of the god powers that you used to be able to use in the arena, mix that throughout the game.
Oh.
Keep a similar skill tree, possibly add horseback combat. And if they don't want to do Rome, think of like the Mongol Empire, something along those lines. But
yeah,
I would love to see a Rise 2 to some extent. But outside of that, I think the more realistic surprise is going to be something from Ninja Theory. Although I don't think any of us that's been following the news, it would be surprised because it's kind of an expected thing. But I think as a overall for a lot of Xbox gamers out there, I think Ninja Theory's next game will be the surprise that everybody stands up and applauds.
Okay, you back, Ashtray? I don't know if he's back yet. I was hoping he was back. I thought I saw his mic pop in, but yeah, let me go ahead and do mine then. I guess since we're trying to figure out what's going on with Ashtray's mic. Essentially, for me, there's a lot of different things I would love to see on their stage. Oh my goodness! Obviously, Fable. Obviously, something. Honestly, I feel like we're gonna see though, just because I feel like we're gonna see something out of Japan. I really feel like we're gonna see an exclusive from a Japanese studio. Now, I don't know. Maybe left field. I think there's something there. I think Phil's getting real chummy and has been the last 2 years with like a lot of Japanese companies. He just recently came from Japan. Anytime he goes over there, there's shit going on. It may not be a exclusive game. It may be a partnership. It may be a third party game. Maybe a multi-plat. But I feel like we're gonna get something. Wouldn't it just be cool for them to announce like Microsoft in Japan or something, or Xbox of Japan, like some kind of Xbox Japanese studio? I think that would almost be as big of an announcement as a Japanese exclusive game.
Yeah.
Having an actual Japanese exclusive studio and like letting somebody like the guy who did they work with on Record that Inafune, I can't remember his name, the guy that actually does Metroid Prime.
Yeah.
Maybe have him or Sakaguchi or somebody like that running the studio. I think that would be huge for the brand. I think that's an even bigger get if they could pull that off. But Ashtray, you back yet? Did he pop in here yet? Or I don't think he's
I
in
think
here
he
yet.
might have it on mute. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
looks like mute at this point, but yeah, we'll figure this thing out though. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the show, everybody, man. Once again, another fire show, man. You guys are always hanging out, man. Appreciate the love and support. Every single week, the show gets better. I'm gonna continue to bring the content. Look out for the weekly videos as well, everybody. I would normally, he said, so Ashtray said he don't know what's going on with his mic. He's having mic issues. So, what I'm gonna do then, since he can't really talk right now. I'm gonna put his Twitter information in the description below. Everybody, please go follow him on Twitter. He's a knowledgeable gamer. Appreciate you, Ashtray, man. Thank you so much. I know you having mic issues. We'll figure that out after the show. But appreciate you for coming on, man. But Fuzzy, I'm gonna let you go ahead and get your, let everybody know where they can find you at if they don't know already, man. The whole internet knows what's going on with Fuzzy, but let them know where they can find you just in case they don't.
Well, before that, I just want to say thanks to the chat. Awesome chat today. Shunsu, Salty, Shunsu Elite, just Z Black Rider, just a whole bunch of you guys. Thanks
Yeah,
for coming out.
yeah,
Ashtray was awesome on this show today. Definitely like talking games with him. Sorry about, I guess, mic issues.
yeah, yeah.
But
We've all been there. We've all been there. So
yeah, but yeah, you can find me on Twitter at fuzzy_Belvedere, PSN fuzzy_Belvedere, or Xbox Live at fuzzy space Belvedere. Probably be playing Division 2 World Tier 5.
for
Woohoo!
sure.
And yeah, I'm pretty much been doing mostly Division. Probably pick up some Forza tomorrow because I gotta race some people at work doing workplace challenges. So I got some more people hooked on Forza. So we gotta see how that turns out.
Yeah, you and Ashtray got to get together, man. He's a Forza fiend too.
Nice. But yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for everybody in the chat for coming out.
Yeah, appreciate you. So once again, Fuzzy, thank you so much, man. Right hand man. Also want to give a shout out to my two other compadres. Jarhead, appreciate you, love you, bro. Zalker87 as well, man. You're doing great things. Appreciate you, love you, bro. We got to reconnect, man. But for sure, once again, with PTK Blam across the board, man. Nothing but the best here on the Shop Podcast. Every Saturday at 6 p.m. live, guys. We do this thing next week. A brand new guest on the show, man. Just gonna try and keep pumping out great content. All the Twitter information is in the description below, guys. Please subscribe to the channel, retweet it as well. All the awareness the channel can possibly get definitely helps it be seen, man. If you enjoy what we're doing and you think that it's good for gaming, man, go ahead and spread the awareness. We appreciate the love and support. But we're going to do this thing once again next week, same time, same place. Shout out to Ashtray Gaming as well, guys. I will leave his description, his information in the description below, so check him out too. But appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We are out of here, man.
Later.